I forgot my wife streamed. I don't know if you picked the fucking thumbnails, but there's the 27th of March episode is fucking 2016. It's hilarious with Boston's fucking thumbnail. That one you highlighted. And your thumbnail is you looking like you're celebrating. Like, yay!
Oh, no, it does that automatically.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, man, that one looked like it felt good. I'll take another stretch like that.
Hold it, hold it, hold it. That's got to be good enough.
All right, we're live
dude.
on Twitch.
My phone says otherwise, but my phone's shit and slow for this.
Yeah, it's a little
It's
weird.
the delay, isn't it?
Yeah.
And my phone's just fucking not responding.
Come on. YouTube, I know you're gonna go live. I can feel it in my bones.
God damn it.
Also, I love fucking that when it tells me you've got a red light on your channel feed, so I click it and it still says no post available.
Well then. I'll go to hell
Fucking
then.
just do what I do when I fucking stream and just constantly refresh the fucker until it works.
Yeah. Alright, I'm not gonna worry about YouTube. That's either gonna happen or it isn't. Whatever.
I'm getting a Thunderbirds advert, apparently.
What is happening?
Apparently there's a new Amazon original Thunderbirds animated TV show.
Yikes.
Puppets or fucking nothing, man.
Someone just asked me on Twitter if I'm left-handed. I am not. Is my handwriting that bad?
No, you probably just watch go there. Come across as a weirdo.
Moon throwing down very clearly. Bless
You know
Bless you.
what? It's not the fucking restaurant's fault. God.
Are you reading Yelp again?
No.
Okay.
He's reading Twitter.
No, there were no fucking circular, like, rotating restaurants in Atlanta. Some kid got crushed and killed.
By a rotating restaurant?
Yeah, it's like one of those round things, like,
Sure, yeah.
yeah, so at the top it spins, and, you know, you have dinner, and you see the whole panoramic view of
Yeah.
the city, yada, yada. Well, apparently some kid got away from his parents, got fucking crushed in it.
It's the fucking parents, then?
Yep.
Yeah, like,
Well, they're gonna get a fucking hefty settlement out of it.
of course they will. A restaurant's probably been there for 150 years, now it's going to close down. Sued for $10 million.
Fucking that shit does my head in.
Alright, just 2 more seconds and we will be ready to go. Alright, we're live on YouTube.
Yay. YouTube.
Alright,
Waka waka waka.
you guys ready to kick this thing off?
Yup. Nubs is still reading about dead kids.
It's a pastime.
No.
No, wait.
They left a... They
Have we got like a flashy light or keys we can jingle?
No, what?
I don't have my keys on me.
I don't either. Mine are hung
I
up
have
in
a
the hole.
Raspberry Pi Zero. Hey. And a,
Nope, that didn't work.
and a
Ooh.
vibration sensor. Whoppers are good, though.
No, they're not. Whoppers are disgusting.
How dare you?
They are fucking gross.
What? Milk
Whoppers.
duds?
No, Whoppers.
It's the same. It's a malted milk ball.
They're fucking
Yeah.
disgusting. You want a malted milk bowl? You go get Maltesers, man. The UK version.
Oh, God, here we go.
Oh,
this-
fun.
Like the same argument I have out here. I like Twizzlers, and apparently that makes me some sort of pariah because everybody out here loves Red Vines.
I was gonna say, isn't it West Coast Red Vines, East Coast
They're
Twizzlers?
so gross.
Red vines?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like pure plastic. Twizzlers aren't that much better, but like... have
I don't
standards.
like either one of them.
Yeah.
But no, it's just the chocolate on it. It tastes weird. The chocolate, it tastes odd. That's why I say Maltesers are great. Although I did find an American candy I like. Shocker, it doesn't have chocolate in. American Skittles are better than English Skittles.
I'm surprised there's a difference.
Yeah.
There's two differences.
Two.
Our green is not sour apple. Our green is just apple. Like the standard apple here, the apple flavoring, the green ones here taste like more tangy apple.
It
Whereas
used to
ours
be
just
lime here.
actually, yeah, that's what it is then. Yeah, it's apple and it's lime still in England.
Yeah.
And the purple ones here are grape, whereas the purple ones in England are raspberry. The grape ones are 10 times better than raspberry ones.
That's so.
I don't like chocolate candies, so
Yeah.
Go to the UK.
if it's on me, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't like fucking chocolate. That's why I'm a bigger fan of like whatchamacallit. Tootsie Roll makes flavored like different types of
Yeah.
taffy.
The orange and the raspberry. And,
Oh my
Yeah.
god, that lemon is sublime.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I found out my wife only likes original Tootsie Rolls.
That's fine. It's a classic.
I find that the most tolerable version of chocolate I could eat is a Tootsie
Mm.
Roll because
It's like one of the only
it's
candies
like
she
cocoa.
yeah.
But no, that Jolly Ranchers are my joint.
Yeah.
Jolly Ranchers and fucking Starburst. I
So
will
Jolly
eat
Ranchers.
so many fucking Starburst.
Starburst jelly beans?
Do they still make the tropical flavor pack
I don't know.
where that has like the pineapple and the mango?
Those were so good. I like how we were like, oh yeah, we want to really have a pre-show. Let's talk about food.
No,
Yes.
it devolved.
Fine, let's just go with the show.
And it's your fault for talking about malted milk balls.
Yeah, you had
It's
to get us
your
on
fault
this.
for not paying attention. So I had to shake the molten McBalls to get your attention, so it all comes back to you.
I don't recall that.
You know what? Get a bell or a clicker.
All right, you
Focus.
guys ready?
Yep.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. It's the third Saturday of the month, so let's talk about TVGP Game Club. This is let's go around the room first. I'm your host Boston. Joining me, as always, is Knobs
What's up?
and Moonpier.
Hello.
You might remember us from the other show, like that video game podcast. So if you liked us over there, hopefully you won't find us insufferable over here.
Wait, that's not what this is?
No, it's Saturday.
What do we do? What are we doing?
Oh, it's Saturday. I gotta go. So Game Club's back. It was gone for a little bit. We're revamped here. Got a brand new crew, brand new time. We will be talking about this past month's game, which is Axiom Verge, and then at the very end we'll be announcing the randomly chosen by random.org brand new game for brand new old game for this upcoming month. And we'll be recording the episode in a month's time, next third Saturday. So,
What a
schedule.
shocker.
I know.
All right.
A couple of bits of programming notes here. You'll notice we didn't do voting, and it's a bit of a shorter game this time. We'll be focusing on some shorter games and no voting for a little bit here as we try and get the schedule down and we get the format down and all these changes we try and settle into it. So it's definitely not out of the question for that to return, but we're going to just focus here for the short term. And don't forget, we're going to be talking about spoilers. So if you're watching the
Yes.
video, you're watching a live stream, you're listening to audio, first of all, thank you. Second of all, if you haven't finished it and you care about spoilers, it'll be here. So, you can just, game's pretty short, so you can come back. All right, let's get right into it. Let's talk a little bit. We have some categories here we brought over from Game Club before that we'll start cracking into. Let's talk about the game. It was released March 31st, 2015, so probably one of the more recent Game Club games we featured. Publisher and developers Thomas Happ Games. You'll be surprised this was developed by a gentleman named Thomas Happ.
Solely developed.
But solely.
Yeah,
by
I liked
Thomas
that in
Happ.
the credits. Solely developed, composed, drawn by, got his own bagels. The whole thing was by Thomas Happ. Came out a whole bunch of stuff. PC, OS X, Linux, PS4, Xbox One, Vita, and Wii U. So one of those 3 hot Wii U indie titles.
It's a good one for it, though.
Yeah. Nothing super special about the game otherwise. Kind of a labor of love for a couple of years by one guy. And we'll get into some of that more, but let's talk about time travel. Game was widely regarded positively. Metacritic has it at an 84, and OpenCritic has it at an 85. So,
Wow, it's weird those two numbers are so close.
yeah. It's nice to see it. I think all 3 of us have finished and enjoyed it, so it's nice to see it, well received. Its peers. So we all missed it when it came out originally. The last 2 games on this list sort of say everything. Hotline Miami 2, Ori and the Blind Forest, which I also missed until recently, Borderlands: The Handsome Collection, which we now know we were
that
playing,
explains it all. Yes.
and Life is Strange Episode 2. So we
didn't have time for it.
Yeah, we had a handful of things that were a little more pressing, especially Life is Strange Episode 2. We were like, please don't mess it up. Please don't be bad.
Yeah.
Keep being good. The question we ask every time, top of the pile or overlooked? I think this is one of those ones that's top of the pile. I think that was widely well received and I think pretty popular. I think it sold pretty well.
Like, I remember hearing a lot about this game. Like, the first time I really heard about this game was Giant Bomb's Game of the Year for that year. And it was nominated for a lot of stuff within the Giant Bomb stuff. I don't know if can't remember if it won anything or not.
Yeah.
But I remember it was like soundtrack. It was nominated for like the best music, I think it was one of the best moments it was always nominated for.
Right.
So I remember hearing about it from them, but other than that, it was just, I mean, I'm a year behind at the best of times, so.
Please make that your Twitter motto.
Yeah.
I'm a year behind.
You're behind at the best of times. Because that is outstanding.
If only we were doing show titles for this. All right, enough of that. Let's just get down into it. All 3 of us have played and finished the game. So we're on the internet, so now we're experts about it. Let's talk about sort of what we liked and what we didn't like, sort of all mashed into one. Let me pull up my notes here. I think one of the big things, I'll get started. I think one of the big things that I liked about it that I was expecting to be frustrated by early on, and I'm glad to see it wasn't as old school as it seemed to be, was that death isn't really a setback. It keeps your progress, and it just ports you back to the last save room.
That shocked me so much. The first time I died, I thought, okay, how much am I going to have to replay?
Right.
How much am I going to have to redo? Nothing.
Yeah, that was really interesting the way they handled death in this game. I thought it was great because at some point, I died so quickly, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be a roguelike. I'm gonna start all over, and I can't.
I don't even remember where I went.
I can't kill anything. Where was I going? And then you open back up and you get in the egg. You're like, okay.
Yeah, and you look at the map.
That was painless.
Oh, that's where I was. I have all my stuff. This is great.
Yeah.
It was nice to see, because I think when you look at it at the beginning, it looks very much like Metroid 1. And in that game, you die, and, I hope you remember where you were going to go and all the secrets you got, because they're gone.
Yeah.
And I think that worked to its advantage on that first death, is that it automatically lets you know, like, hey, man, we all played Metroid. We know how much that sucks.
Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah.
Cool. Here's your stuff. Here's your gear. Have at it.
And I feel like that paid dividends at the very end of the game, when it's like, hey, what's that new enemy? Cool, it killed me in one shot. Great. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Especially we were getting pistol whipped in the back half of that game.
Yeah, that last big spire. That was not messing around.
That last big spire and the one way up in the top right of that map was that was a total nope. I am getting through here as fast as I can.
Yeah.
Yeah. To give you an idea on how distinctive some of the enemies in this game are, though, Nobs described it during the TVGP episode. You were talking about how the disco balls were killing you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I streamed my entire playthrough of this game, and during the stream, I had someone watching who Tech Thomas recently joined the Discord channel. And I bumped into a new enemy I'd never seen before. I was like, I wonder if this is the disco ball that Nobs was talking about. Immediately in chat, he was like, no, that's not the disco balls. You'll know them when you see them. I then found them.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Well, no, it was because there was one variation of an enemy you ran into a few rooms before that was a lot harder to kill in the Spire.
Yeah.
The little guys with the two turrets and the tails.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
Those were the worst.
Jeez. Yeah. Those were not great. And it's sort of surprising because at the beginning of the game, the majority of the enemies are fine. You know, you run into those laser things where you're like, oh, these kind of suck, but at least I can avoid them. And then as the game keeps going, the enemies get more and more devious, and near the end of the game, I feel like they got pretty unfair.
Yeah, I will agree with that. It's a really good progression of enemies, like
Yeah.
new ways to kill them, like the turtle things. You don't know how to kill them. You can't shoot them. You can't do anything to them. You drill them, they die.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
That look on Nobs' face.
Nobs' look was just like, "Wait, you can drill them?"
No, wait. The ones that turn the back and they spooge the gas
Yes.
out on you?
If you hit them with the drill, they die.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do anything to them. You can just drill them and they die.
No, see, I res them and then I could shoot them.
I couldn't res them until after I got the upgrade. Then when I got the
only with the
upgrade, I
second
res
one.
them.
Oh, you see, I just ran away from them before I got the...
Gotta go.
I didn't play around.
Yeah.
But yeah, the progression is fantastic. But yeah, near the end of the game, it does just feel like a kick in the tooth.
Yeah.
Because even like resing the disco balls, for example, that just slows them down. It doesn't do anything to them. It just slows
Slowing
them
them down helps immensely.
Yeah.
It does, but
I sort of almost felt like it was, in an RPG, it was an area I wasn't supposed to be in yet because I didn't have enough upgrades, I didn't have enough health or something, but that was really the only place that I had left to go because I was going to finish the game. I had like 90% of or something of the map, so that was, in the what I didn't like category here. I felt like the end of that game, the final boss was way too easy, and the final enemies were way too hard.
yes.
Wait,
I
you guys
100%
thought
agree
that
with
last boss was easy?
With the three flying things?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
He
did.
was so easy.
I did one of those glitch bombs, which locked those things down and just shot straight up at that thing.
I didn't even do that. I used the penetration gun that fires a wibbly wobbly line and it just goes through enemies and it damages them as it goes through them. I just ran to the bottom right hand corner, locked in position, and shot diagonal up and left. Killed the things that were coming close to me and hit the objective at the same time.
Yeah.
I probably killed hundreds of those orbs.
You got a lot of health for it, at least.
I needed every drop of those little bloody crystals.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
On things that we're not a huge fan of before we get to the positive, because I'm sure it will massively outweigh it, I hated the grappling controls.
Yeah, were you playing on Xbox One?
Yes, I was.
Okay.
And I fluctuated between
here's the
D-pad
thing.
and stick, depending on what I was doing.
Yeah.
That felt more like playing Bionic Commando on the NES.
Yeah, that's
exactly how that grappling hook played like that. It wasn't like as great. Here's the thing: is like we had something that did it better come out years ago in Bionic Commando Rearmed, which did that swinging mechanic so perfect. You expect that's what your expectation is right there.
I never played either of the Bionic Commando games, original or Rearmed.
Okay.
I would play Rearmed. Put that in the list.
I just could not. I struggled with it so much. Like I said, I streamed it. If you want to watch an hour of me embarrassing myself, feel free to go and see any of that footage. It's terrible.
The only time
so
I
bad
had
at
a
it.
real big problem with it was trying to get the last your forearm like shooting.
Oh, the
thing.
second syringe.
Yeah, the second syringe, where you had to do kind of a combination move to get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say for me, the only thing that I didn't like about this game was the expectation as soon as I saw it. Because I was expecting it to be a Metroid game, and in the same vein as a Metroidvania game. that I was going to have to go forward and backwards a lot.
Yeah.
And I had this expectation of how I needed to play that game, and it made me play it different. That would be the only thing I would say negatively about this game. And this kind of probably a positive negative, because it gives you all these tools, but you have to continually pushing forward to progress in that game. Not the way before where you go back, you go get all these extra upgrades, so the next area you get into, you're a little overpowered. It kind of keeps you on that just off of being crushing everything around you.
Yeah, I have that on my negative list too. Though I agree it's kind of a negative and positive, because I really wanted to play it like a traditional Metroidvania, where it's like, okay, cool, I got the high jump. All right, I remember there was this place in the beginning where I could high jump. There has to be something cool, but you can't make your way back there the way you came. You basically have to go through the entirety of the game to sort of loop back around to the beginning, because it has things it needs you to do. You have to get this whole arsenal before it lets you really wander around the whole map again.
Yes, and I think that works to the game's own benefit, but as far as our own perception of what we felt we were getting into was just shattered.
Yeah.
In a good way. That would be the only thing that I really had a problem with in the game.
Yeah. I haven't... oh, God.
I was just going to say, I think that comes from us, from the way we are all mentally wired from having played video games for as long as we have.
Yeah.
Like, I think if you're a relatively younger person coming in and playing this, having not had the experience of all those games before you, you'll come in and you'll get everything you can, and you'll notice things at the back, but most people nowadays, I think, just tend to push forwards. I think our generation has the tendency to, okay, I've got this, I need to go back and get the thing I missed. I need to go back and do the thing I didn't do beforehand before it's too late.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, it's never too late in that game.
Yeah. I think one other sort of negative and positive I had, sort of wrapped in one, is the game has a lot of weapons, which is really great, because you can sort of find the weapon you really like, i.e. the lightning gun.
I was going to say lightning gun.
Which lightning gun did you like? Did you like the purple one with the green lightning, or did you like the one that was just the one bolt that just beeline to everything around you?
Yeah, the second one, whatever, that was just called the lightning gun. The first one was called, I don't remember what it was.
It was like Zeus or something like that. It was a weird name. A lightning shotgun is what I refer to that one as.
No. There's a different one.
Oh, are you talking about the laser one?
Cascades
the one that cascades out in every direction.
Yeah, that one was fun. Not as strong as I would have liked. But I think the part that frustrated me and sort of bummed me out is I think because there were such a huge number of weapons, I found myself not using 75% of them.
Yeah.
Because there were like 2 or 3 that were really good, especially the default weapon, and like that one shotgun blast one. But beyond that, you'd use that one that sort of arcs up and down for that one boss, use the penetrating one for another boss, but kind of you don't use them a bunch in between. And I felt like that was, especially once you get the lightning gun, it's so strong and sort of heat seeks. There's no real reason to experiment anymore. Yeah,
it's so nice to just I fart in your general direction and it's gonna hit you.
Yeah, especially at the end with the guys with the tails.
Yes,
I can't remember. Is that the massage chairs? I refer to them as massage chairs. The ones.
I guess they might sort of look like it. Yeah,
they look like massage chairs that are walking at you.
That's real weird.
After I completed the game, I went back and I did use a guide after the fact and collected all the weapons. There's like 30 of them.
There's a ton.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. They're all cool, but
yeah,
a lot of them are kind of useless. Like that shotgun
they're more specific use, but at that point when you need something that's very specific, you've already forgot what you have to use.
Yeah, like you run into one of those white walkers that jumps out of the ground, you're going to use that Kilver shotgun thing. Because that kills them pretty quickly, but otherwise it's not really great for anything else.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the music yet. Before we talk about the music proper, I did want to talk about there's a lot of little things in this game I really like. I really like it has a low health beep that starts
Yeah.
off
Oh.
really loud, but then fades
Yeah.
into the beat of the music, and I thought that was
Yeah.
really clever.
I think that was a really great move. I think it's loud for too long. I think because it stays up loud for a good 5-10 seconds, I think, and then it fades out.
Yeah.
And every time I was low health, I kind of just wanted to find the nearest enemy and jump into them to get them to stop beeping at me.
I was thinking of like the original Legend of Zelda where it just never stops
it just
beeping.
doesn't stop.
Yes.
Where I'm like, it
The
gets
back
quieter.
half of
This
that-
is fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love the fact that it got quieter. It took me too long to realize it did that. But when it started, the first time it started, I was like, yep, there's that really obnoxious noise again. And then it fades after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a great touch to have it fade. It was the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I feel like the music and the graphical style are easily two of this game's strong suits, and
Yes.
finding that it was just the one dude that made all of this, because I was excited to finish the game to figure out who composed it, because I was going to figure it was one of the composers that I really like, and to find out that it's him doing this whole stuff, I was like, wow, that's pretty incredible. The music in here is just, for as long as you hear each individual track, I never got tired of them. Even that one that has that vocal sample in it.
Oh my god!
I love that one.
Every time I heard it, I was just like, yeah, this is great.
The best thing about it is all of the pieces are great, but each individual zone has its unique sound to it.
Yeah.
Like, they're all very distinctive from each other. It's not like it's 7 songs which are kind of similar with a little bit of difference in.
Right.
I think the one exception to that is the golden area that's very, very small. I think that is the first zone slowed down and mellowed out.
Sure.
Oh, that's so intense, though.
Yeah.
Like I thought that room was going to be the end of the game. Like I
Yeah,
literally
I
thought,
did
like
too.
I thought that was it. This is over. Okay, so I'm pushing through, and then I get through it was just to get one more weapon or something, and I need.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
it
like,
was the red cloak.
Yeah, I was
Or
like,
the-
isn't Athetos or whatever his name is back here? I thought that was...
Yeah, you don't even find a boss up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably because of those Goldar things that are floating around. You just want to get away from them because they were a nightmare.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I did like how every time you pick up, like when you start the game, Trace just has like a shirt and pants on,
Yes.
and when you pick
Yep.
up
It's-
that first trench coat, he's wearing it, and it's like different in the portrait when he's talking to the Russian
Yep.
robot lady faces. The red trench coat does the same thing. Like when you pick up the 2 syringes, like the stuff comes out of his shoulders. Like
Yeah.
really cool little touches like that. I really liked the graphical style in this game. I wrote in my notes, it reminds me of a grayscale game that someone colorized. Like it has all these different like shades and hues to it. Because going into it, you've always seen that loading screen where it has the lady's face and the background, and it looks great, but going into a Metroidvania that's like an indie Metroidvania, you sort of expect it to be 16-bit style, and you sort of know what you're gonna get. And I think at every turn, I think it kept impressing me in really little ways.
Oh, even
Yeah.
especially like when you first run into the first, Escher-esque, is it Escher? Giger.
Yeah,
HR Giger. The HR Giger looking head.
yeah.
And like her jaw is disconnected and it's just 2
And
lines
it's
like hanging
huge.
down. It's massive. You're like, huh, that's really cool looking. And start talking like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And then as you're progressing, you get the repair bots in it, and all of a sudden things are being fixed in the world.
Yeah.
Now she has a jawbone. Everything looks really sleek and stuff. And you get to the one area where you meet another one of the giant, massive head people, and you see like the whole body of it in the background. You're like,
I thought that
holy
was
crap.
so cool. I was like, that's how huge they are? Like, I thought they were just a face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of
When
course, at
that
the end,
happened-
you find out that's how
when
huge
that
they are.
happened,
Which-
I was like, I said to myself, the end of this game is going to be me fighting one of those things, isn't it? Because that's just
I
the way
totally
this
thought
is
so,
going to
too.
go.
Yep, they're going to turn
I
on
did
me
too.
because they're crazy. I'm going to repair them, and then we're like, thanks, brah.
Yeah, well, exactly, because essentially I guess that happened already
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
in the game itself. And
Yeah.
like, once you have the one realization, I'm sure we'll talk about in a minute, you're like, oh, this is not going to go well at all.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can talk about the story.
Just before we move on to that,
Sure.
really quick, just on the art style. I remember we talked about it on Discord, and Maximus Prime brought up an interesting point. Like, he says it's not his preferred art style because he believes it's trying to pull at your heartstrings and your emotions, trying to harken you back to a time. And in a way, it kind of is, but I also think that's doing a massive disservice to the actual game itself, because this guy picked an art style that was within his scope. It was within his ability to produce.
Yeah.
And he nailed it every single step of the way. And yeah, it might harken back to the older games. You can view that as a positive or a negative. But at the same time, he picked something he could do, and he nailed it.
Well, and I think for the art style, there's a larger topic I want to talk about in a little bit. I think the art style is very purposeful to remind you of Metroid. And and like in the first couple rooms, and then there's like that one big long shaft that you run into where it's very much like you're going through and you're like, yeah, this is Metroid, okay. You know, I fight those Weaver things and I jump, and then you run into like one of those glitched out areas that you can't pass by, and you're like, oh, okay, well that's not what I was expecting. That's interesting.
Well, and I think it does the right thing on pulling on the older gamers' nostalgic love for Metroid, because that is one of the most revered games in the gaming pantheon.
Yeah,
is Metroid. I mean,
first
all
game
of us
that lets you move left.
Correct. Yeah.
Pitfall, man. Anyway, moving on.
But I mean, the point I'm making, but it wasn't a slave to it. And exactly. I think that's where this game really shined more than anything else.
And I think one of the things, to get back to our previous topic, I think one of the things that surprised me the most was that it had a story. I thought I would get dumped in this world, and there's an opening cutscene, and there's a couple of cutscenes throughout the game that are really well done and keep to that. It almost reminded me of Sega CD cutscenes, where it's like this small part of the window that's lightly animated and well done, and there's really good text. The writing is solid. You know, I like the first space lady you run into speaks very poorly, but speaks better and better the more you're repairing her and her other Russian space lady friends. There's all great touches like that, and then of course there's the twist halfway through where it's like, oh, I'm the bad guy, but I came here a couple hundred years ago, and then I was bad, but I'm back. And I'm good because it's a different timeline, but it kind of isn't. But let's kill my Athatos, myself, me.
I honestly think they probably should have named the guy Pathos, but I think that'd have been way too obvious.
Probably, yeah. I think a lot of the story stuff was well done. I sort of the mid game reveal of you being the bad guy, I feel like wasn't super great, but I thought it was an interesting idea and presented really well that it happened. I was sort of like, okay, this is it's cool and it's different, and it sort of lies on the science that Trace has been trying to figure out for, you know, his whole life, and what got him banished from the science community.
Yeah. Well, I thought the quarter game reveal was way more impactful than
Which one's that one?
The one where you find out you're technically catatonic in a hospital bed.
Right, I forgot about that.
That's
from the
part,
explosion.
That's when, like, at the laser reactor or whatever it was.
Whatever happened at the beginning of Half-Life 1.
But no, at that point, and you realize this is all taking place in your head or in an alternate reality, and I was like, all right, I'm all in at this point. Like, from a quarter of the way through this game, I'm like, all right, that's it. And then to have the second reveal that you've done this before, and it went very badly.
Yeah. Well, and I thought it was interesting. I thought that reveal was good, but I thought what was interesting is how that first space lady turns on you very quickly, where you're like, I don't know if I want to kill this dude myself, and she's like, cool, you're dead. Do you want to do that again? And I was just like, what? she's not messing around, man. I was like, but you've been my friend the whole time. Like, you were here when I first arrived. Now you're killing me.
Yeah. That moment, like, when he's like, oh, I want to do this peacefully, I want to do this nicely, and she's just like, you don't really have a choice. And he's like, well, what are you going to do? Kill me? And literally, she basically clicks her fingers and you die. I was a bit more interested in them because while they do come across, like, at the start, they're basically helpless. I think that moment, it'll let you realize that even after the reveal of their bodies, they're even helpless, they're not helpless.
Yeah.
Like, they can pretty much still be lethal and genuine threats to anybody, even in their comatose and restrained state.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought the game was taking a different turn. 'Cause it didn't end the way I was anticipating.
No.
I honestly wasn't expecting kind of a happy ending at this.
Yeah.
I was expecting this whole thing to be cyclical. That you're going to keep repeating the same thing, especially after you started killing your clones.
Yeah.
And the eggs of creation. I'm like, what is happening?
Where's this game going, dude?
Like, I love going into games this blind because this was an amazing treat that I was not anticipating.
Yeah. I was really expecting, just like I said before, I was expecting like Symphony of the Night, where you play through it and it's like, all right, Dracula's bad, and you're fighting Shaft. Okay, there's a crappy CG thing, but you get something a little bit more. It's not the best written game you've ever played, but what is there is well presented, and it's an interesting story that I don't think we've really run into before in that format for sure.
Well, especially not on something that would be considered an indie title like this.
Right.
Like, there isn't anything that's really going to grab you in that fact, other than it's just go kill everything in front of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, I think the really interesting thing here is the story is not that ambiguous, but I took something different away to what Nobs did. Like, you were talking about the quarter game reveal where he basically talking about being catatonic and stuff like that. I took that to basically be a genetic memory that he's had. That he's remembering his history as Atheos. He's remembering that aspect of it because he's cloned from the current day Atheos. He's got genetic memory of being in that state.
Right.
But then it's not him who's being in that state. It's the old version of him, which he's cloned from. And he remembers everything that Atheos did up to the point where he was cloned. So I did view it as a very cyclical thing. Like, it's basically a time loop.
Right. No, that the time loop thing is where it put it, like, and especially they put in like the scale of time. I mean, this thing's been going on for hundreds of years in their timeline, and you're like, and they keep kind of peeling these layers away on what you're saying, like the genetic memory, but it's still, you're still following the same path. And I was thinking, like, I was like, okay, and then you realize that all the things you're killing were actually like living beings that were in this world, that propagated this world before, that were mutated by the pathogen to be violent and attack you. And you're like, I don't want to shoot these things anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so the big topic here that I has sort of been chewing at me on this game, and I think it's specifically based on how the Axiom Verge has bounced off of some people pretty hard, and I there have been a couple people in the Discord that said, like, look, I don't like Metrovanias, this game doesn't really do anything for me, which I absolutely respect. I think the thing that I was thinking about with Axiom Verge is the three of us have played a lot of Metrovanias in the past. Axiom Verge is a great game on its own virtues, but do you think for us it's a better or more impactful or more interesting game because it takes those Metrovania genre expectations and it subverts them? Like, the two biggest examples for me is you go in and you see this platform that's way too high, and you're like, okay, great, I'm going to get a double jump. Let me just go find that. And you don't. You never get a double jump throughout the entire game. And I was like, well, crap, that's great. And you see this small little shaft at the bottom that you can blow up, and you're like, great, I'm going to be able to turn into a ball, and then we'll do. And you find out you don't. You get that clone thing.
The little
The
little
droid.
skittery
the
guy.
drone thing, which
Yeah.
was, and that's where I think where I enjoyed this game more than anything else, because I was expecting all these old tropes.
Yep.
And same thing went through my mind. It's like, cool, I'm going to turn into a ball at some point. I think I was at a party with Tom Gamer. I was like, when do I get the ball?
Right.
And then I've got the drone. I was like, this is way cooler than anything I thought was going to happen.
Yeah, and you get the teleport, and you get to like teleport to where your drone shoots, and you get all this. I think for me, Axiom Verge is a really great game, but I think subverting the expectations of this genre was where it really set itself apart. Because I was enjoying it up until the point where you got the high jump, but I was sort of dreading going through the Metroidvania like paint by numbers, where it's like, okay, we'll get this thing that'll let me fly, and this double jump, and this ball, and a super bomb, and all this stuff. You don't get any of that, but you get something that's like 10 degrees off of that. You don't get a double jump, you get a super high jump, and then you can teleport to where your drone goes and teleport through, solid walls.
Right.
Way cooler.
Well, you can teleport through solid walls, and then you can go through a lot of walls.
Yeah.
And you're like, at every instance where something that I was expecting to take a right-hand turn, it took a left.
Yeah.
And to its benefit,
Yeah.
which and I don't know how they were able to get it right so many times.
Yeah.
Like, I think every decision that they made for what you were expecting, like we were talking about, the ball, the double jump, I was not expecting to have a grappling hook in the game.
Yeah, I was expecting. I think that's this game's version of flying, basically, where it's like you want to go up there, you gotta like grapple your way up and climb. It's not easy, but
for me, the biggest thing is here's the big shocker. I haven't played that much Metroidvania games. Like, I really haven't. You can probably name 5, and I've maybe played one of them. Like, I haven't played the original Metroid. I haven't played Symphony of the Night. I haven't played the majority. Yeah,
I'm gonna put Symphony of the Night on the list.
I have not played the majority of Metroidvanias, especially the most famous ones.
Right.
All of my quote-unquote Metroidvania experience comes from third-person open-world Metroidvania type games.
Wait. You played Shadow Complex.
Yes, I've played Shadow Complex.
Okay, we're good then. Next game is Symphony of the Night. Congratulations.
Way to go, randomizer.
Yeah.
Like Batman Arkham Asylum is,
yes,
that's a prime example of a fantastic Metroidvania, but in an open world setting. That one is one that I've done, but I noticed all the same things you guys noticed, except I didn't have the equivalencies. I didn't when the first time I ran into the little hole, I said, well, that's where I'll get the ball equivalent.
Right.
Like, I wasn't expecting a ball. I think I actually said on one of the streams, I'm going to get a double jump real soon because all of these platforms are way too high for me.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a Metroidvania thing. I think that's played a lot of video games and the tells for it kind of thing. So,
yeah, and again, like when I talk about opening the show with what we didn't like, I mean, I thought your expectations of what this game is supposed to be is its worst negative.
Yep.
But it manages to improve on your and surprise you, which I think is a harder feat than delivering something well.
Yeah, and that's why I was really encouraging a lot of people that were playing it, and they were expressing some frustration at the very beginning of the game. I was encouraging them to sort of push through the beginning, because it very much does seem like a rote Metroidvania, and we've seen a lot of indie Metroidvanias that kind of follow the formula. And I think I was feeling okay about it. The music was great. I like the graphics a lot. Controls are fine. But once you picked up that high jump instead of the double jump, I was sort of like, okay. Well, now we've got something a little bit different. And the game kept doing that with every item I would pick up. Like, you pick up the trench coat, and they're like, now you can teleport through walls. And I was like, I can? Like, this is great.
Which I loved. I absolutely loved all of that aspect of it, because, like Nob said, it didn't go right, it went left.
Right.
Yeah. Well, same thing. Like, you thought once you had the res gun, once you had the up res gun, you went to all the areas that you couldn't do, and you realized there's another skill I need to have to get through this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's less about playing on the Metroidvania expectations, but just the game expectations in general. Like, it does a really good job of introducing what should be tired old mechanics
Yeah.
and changing them so much, like the teleporting through walls. But that drone is the biggest game changer for me.
Yeah, I thought that was really clever. I think,
Like,
it kept getting better.
Yeah,
like when
that
you
was
get
the
the
thing that blew my
teleport
mind.
for it and the long shot, and you're just like, well, wait, now this place that I used to have to spend 10 minutes climbing up to get to the next room above.
yeah, you're just zipping
poop,
up it.
poop, I'm done.
Yeah, and I Knobs mentioned it earlier, but one of my favorite moments in this game is in that very first huge open area. There's that second syringe where you have to, jump and shoot the drone and teleport to it, and then he grappled on the bottom and teleported up, but I teleported through the side of it. So you're doing like 4 complicated steps to get to this upgrade that does pay off, but it's sort of like, man, this is cool.
But no, seeing that syringe up there stopped me dead in my tracks, and it took me an hour.
Yeah,
and
me
it
too.
wasn't even a really frustrating hour because it was honing a skill.
Yep.
I did the grappling method as well. I did the stupid thing of grappling, then jumping off the grappling hook and trying to teleport before I realized you can just teleport from the grappling hook.
You just recoil the grappling hook all the way up and go, zip.
I didn't know you could do that until Knobs mentioned it. I was like, boy, that would have made that game way easier.
Yep. It's the similar area. There's a place on the really similar where you can go, I think it's up to the left. It's the first time you get the teleport to the drone ability, and there's like, you've got to go up all the way around and then up and to the left, and you could literally just grapple and hook your way up. You hook yourself right up to the floor and then just teleport straight through. That's when I discovered it, and it was just like, oh, I'm such an idiot.
But even with all these great cool stuff that we're talking about, I thought one thing that did was even more of a surprise was having the black and white levels where you go through a static wall.
Oh, the hidden worlds.
The hidden worlds inside the hidden world.
Yeah, mine looked like
we found
one yet.
Well, here's the funny thing. Boston found one. He's like, we were chatting on something, and it was like, hey, did you find this hidden world thing? I was like, oh wait, hold on. I think I just found one. I wonder why. I took a picture and sent it to him. He's like, that's not the one I went into.
Yeah, he went into like this black and white world. I went into one that looked like a CRT. It had the scan lines and the beveled screen.
Vignetting.
Yeah.
I have not gone into any of these. It was in discussions with Tech Thomas, the gentleman who hopefully is now a regular listener. Hello, Tech Thomas. He was watching my streams, and he asked me, did I want to know about the secret worlds? I said no. After completing the game, I looked into them. I haven't gone back and gone into any as of yet, but apparently there's 3 on every save file that are randomly generated.
Yep.
Locations
even better
in the world.
Yep.
So there is 3. They are random to your save file and your save file alone.
Yeah. They're pretty obvious where they are, though.
Well,
there'll be a doorway on the map, and there's a solid wall, and it's like, oh, what's here?
Yeah, that one was like, because when I stumbled across it, I was like, I wonder. I was like, oh my god, I'm in it.
Okay. So this is great.
All right, party chat dropped. I'm okay. What's going on?
It'll have the door marked on the map.
Yep.
But okay, that's good.
But it'll be a solid wall in front of you.
I'll probably be able to find it really easy then, because I've got 100% of the map at this point. Out of curiosity, I was speaking to Nobs about this I think it was on Monday. Did you guys get the code machine?
Yes.
I don't know what the code machine is.
Yeah, you can put in like 12-digit codes.
Oh, no, yes. I did get that machine. I didn't use it at all.
Yeah, the first time you use it, you pick up a note and it says, "Oh, I've figured out how to decipher this old language." You use the cipher reveal language name. It's like reveal cipher. You enter that code in the machine and it translates all of the notes that you picked up to English.
The ones that are in gibberish.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even do that.
Yeah.
Then there's a second language. There's a second language as well, but my personal favorite, in one of the very first areas, there's a puzzle with like 6 red lasers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I never got through that.
Yeah, if you go to the right a room and then up a room, there is basically a red energy thing in the wall. Looks like a power thing, like a power throughput. If you hit that with your res gun, it took me about 20 minutes to figure this out. It was mind-blowing when I did it. Hit that with your res gun. the top part of the res, when you use the res gun, it comes up with the gibberish in the top right corner.
Yep.
The top line is plain text. You
Oh,
enter
interesting.
that into your code machine, and
Wow.
a doorway opens on the left, and you can just
Wow.
go through that doorway and go
That's
and collect
genius.
2 items.
Also, you can put in Justin Bailey in there, and he wears a swimsuit,
Yeah, I heard about that one.
which is great.
Yeah, but that code machine, the second I got it and then figured out how to use it, and then especially when I figured out that puzzle, I was just like, mind blown.
That's crazy.
incredible.
Yeah, I never did that.
I love this game so much because of just that simple thing. It enters an entirely new thing into your menu,
Yep.
which allows you to change the world. It does say when you pick it up, allows you to alter reality.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that until that point.
That's
I was
crazy.
like, yep. Okay, that's fantastic. The fact that it uses a plain text thing, which you only get when you're holding the right bumper on the Xbox,
Yeah.
and hitting that thing with it, and it gives you the plain text, and I was just like, oh my god, is that what it is? Pulled it up,
That's
tested it
pretty
out.
cool. Axiom
Big
Verge
tunnel
is
in
pretty
front of me.
cool.
Yeah. It's
So let's wrap this up. Any final sort of positives, negatives we have here?
Again, that ending took another left turn in that game
Right.
because
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to end up with you in that machine.
Yeah.
I think it does, because the fact that he's talking about how he wants to get back there, and then his eyes glow orange in that last cutscene.
Right.
I think it's going to lead to him then figuring out all that science, going there, and then he becomes that thing in the
Yeah, the
machine.
cycle continues again.
Right, and it
Yeah.
never really so is the thing that the one thing I felt like I missed in the game was them really describing what the breach is, like the
Yeah.
breach generator.
Yeah, I did feel a little bit disappointed by. I mean, it's pseudoscience, probably at its best. Here's a bunch of sciencey things. Don't look into them too much or think too much about them. Just understand this is science that you don't understand.
Yeah, I think when they were talking about the breach generator, they were like, "Well, it keeps everything from coming to the planet. It blocks." It blocks.
So are they
them out."
talking about from our reality where he did the laser experiments in to the I forgot the name of the world that they're in.
It's something. With
It's
an S.
something weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
From what they had, there was a quick shot where it looked like there was just like a force field around the planet. I just sort of thought like no one could come to the planet.
Yeah,
But
the way I
they-
think
they
it-
sort of
Is that
glossed
because
over that.
keep us from entering that world, or I don't know, man.
Well, it was also
really cool.
to keep the Russian
Okay,
space ladies from leaving.
I will
Yeah.
say one thing: the reincarnation eggs might be the coolest thing I've seen in 16-bit.
Just how they twist
Yes,
apart.
Just how the twist
the
up. I'm like,
rotation coming down.
that is out. That's way better than it really needed to be.
Yeah, a lot of great
Yeah.
animations like that. Like some pretty good animations on the bosses. The Russian
Oh, the
space
bosses.
ladies, like their bodies, how they animated, like just really, really great animation stuff, especially for only being made by one person. Just
Oh, and the amount of scale that they got into some of these bosses. You fight that one giant laser shooting one where it pans way back
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
realize
and you're
how
like
big
it
that
has.
room is.
yeah.
Yeah,
That was a great moment. I like that moment, and the first time you get into one of those upper areas where you're wandering around, and the room is just huge, and you're like, this is because before it's been just like one shaft, one
Yeah, it's
hallway, that
always
sort of
been
thing. And now
corridors.
it's this 3 or 4
Yeah.
huge rooms.
Yeah, and how nice it is to be outside in one of those
Yeah,
games.
exactly.
yeah. When you go to Eden and it's like, oh, trees,
Yeah.
daylight, shock.
Well,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
talk about the. I thought the floaty head fast travel thing was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that little squid head. Yeah.
Yes.
Where like first time I jumped, it reminded me of the moon people from Baron von Munchausen, where the detached heads floating around.
Yeah.
But no, you like at first thing I was like, all right, so do I interact with this? And then I jumped. Oh, there it goes.
No, it's going. It's
Yeah.
running. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I went into this expecting something good. I didn't expect something special, and it does feel special to me.
Yep.
Like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but to me, this is a fine example. This is one of the, like, if I was putting this on a list of indie games made by small teams, this would be way up the list because it's
Oh, God.
It's so good. It's developed so well, and like we were talking about with the art style, he set himself a goal, and I feel like he's nailed every aspect of it. And the code machine was a mind blower for me, like especially when I got that passageway open. It was mind blown kind of moment. But even with that, it's not super deep. It's not like there's codes in every single room. I think there's like 5 in total.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he went out of his way to make
You're not
that.
playing Fez.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think he does the good thing of it being there and in plain enough sight for you to grasp it and not have to depend on an entire community of internet people to decode the situation. You know,
Yeah.
it's scaled so perfectly. For this one guy to do it, I've got nothing but respect for the dude.
I think for me, Axiom Verge easily sits in, certainly in like top 10 favorite Metroidvanias. Like I think this is, I think not only, to me it's a really great game. It looks great. It plays solid. The music is fantastic. It's just long enough. It's not too long. The story is interesting. But I think for me, the subversion is where it takes it from a good game to a really great game, because I love that genre, and I get really frustrated when you play
Everything's a cookie cutter.
Yeah, like you play a game and they're just painting by numbers, where it's, you know, here's the bat form that you get in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and here's your double jump, you know. And I think the subversion of that makes Axiom Verge go from a good game to an outstanding game and an outstanding Metroidvania.
Right, and I think that's where why this game is probably going to be revered as one of my favorite games of all time.
Yeah.
Because it surely earned a spot in that just on the amount of times it had me anticipating and made a different decision.
Yeah.
Which surprises are so rare anymore in games.
Well, and none of the surprises ever really, like, I wasn't disappointed that I didn't get a double jump, because I got a high jump, and that was cool. I was initially disappointed, like, oh, I didn't find a ball. Oh, I found this drone. And, like, you don't just get an item, you get an item, and then you get modifications to it throughout the whole game. And you're like, this drone is cool. This drone is super cool, because I can do 4 more things with it.
And the thing is with especially with this game is it gave me things that I didn't even know I wanted.
Yep.
And I think that's why this game in my mind is great. It did everything right as much as Mighty Number 9 did everything wrong.
Right. Yeah, so I think go play Axiom Verge if you've made it through this whole thing. I mean, we spoiled it for you, but I think Axiom Verge is one of those perfect game club games where we missed it, and it's small and it's relatively short, but man, that's a hell of a ride, and I'm kind of pissed I missed it in 2015.
Yes.
Because it would have made my top 10 list for sure.
It would have been in top 5 any year.
Easily.
Yeah. It's amazing, yeah. It's even if you listen to this, and if anything we've said has piqued your interest at all, it's cheap. Throw the guy $20, even if it's full price, or wait for Knobs to buy another copy of it, and I'm sure it'll go on sale again.
If this thing had a physical copy, I would buy it. I would go out of my way to buy it.
Yeah, I would too. I mean, it probably had a copy for limited run games. That seems like a perfect game that they would have put out, but even if you don't like it, even if you not sure if you're gonna like it, it's $20. It's worth a couple of hours of investment. By that point, even if you're struggling, like I struggled at the start of this, even if you are, you'll be a good chunk of the game into the game by 3-4 hours. Yeah. And the good news is Thomas Happ says he's working on his next game, so I will definitely keep an eye out for whatever he's working on next.
I think he's an unsung hero.
Yeah.
Like, everyone talks about, Jonathan Blow and, Phil Fish and all this other stuff. That guy has stayed out of the spotlight, and he's made this, which, for one guy, I think that's a masterpiece of a game.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk about our next game, randomly chosen from our giant list of games to play. Our next game is The Flame and the Flood, which is a game...
Yes! I was hoping it would be this one.
I was really hoping for
Hyperlight Drifter.
Hyperlight Drifter is so good. I will happily play that again. But we're going to be playing The Flame and the Flood. It came out on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I know nothing about this other than the title, so I'm super excited to play it. you have a month to play it. We will be back to talk about this the third Saturday of next month. But until then, go play Axiom Verge if you haven't. It's really good.
Yes.
And we'll see you all next month.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, thanks everyone for joining us on the live stream. We're leaving.
Oh my
Bye.
God.